大家好，欢迎来到跟陈老师学汉语。第14课，他买了不少衣服。这节课我们先要学习3个短的汉语对话，然后我会解释了、后、啊、都这4个字，最后是阅读练习。第一个对话：昨天上午你去哪儿了？我去商店买东西了。你买什么了？我买了一点儿苹果。东西 It's noun means thing or stuff. 一点儿 It means a few or a little. The character R has no meaning itself, but it makes the phrase sound nicer and more friendly. Also, we can omit the character R and it becomes 一点, which also means a few or a little. 苹果 It's a noun, means apple. 昨天上午 Yesterday morning indicates the first sentence talks about things happened in the past. In English, the verbs have past tense, but in Chinese, the form of a verb remains unchanged under all circumstances. Differences in person, gender, number of time do not require changes in the form of a verb. The character le is a particle. We have learned one of the meanings of le in lesson 4, which is used to indicate a change. In this conversation, le is used to indicate occurrence or completion. I'll explain the grammar later in detail in the lesson. The answer to the first question. 我去商店买东西了. Literally, it means I went to the store, bought stuff. Here, the same. The character le indicates completion of the action. The third sentence, 你买什么了? Literally, it means you bought what? The last sentence, 我买了一点儿苹果. I bought some apples. This is how do we express things happened in the past in Chinese. 第2个对话，你看见张先生了吗？看见了，他去学开车了。他什么时候能回来？40分钟后能回来。看见 It's a verb, means to see. 先生 It's a noun, means Mr. or Sir. 开 It's a verb, means to drive. 车 It's a noun, means car or vehicle. 回来 It's a verb, means to come back or return. 分钟 It's a noun, means minute. 后 It's a noun, means after, afterwards, or later. 张 It is a common Chinese family name. The same, this conversation also talks about things that happened in the past. Here, the character le also indicates the occurrence or completion of the action. The second sentence, 看见了, it's a short answer of 我看见张先生了. The last sentence, 40分钟后能回来. 40分钟后 means after 40 minutes. 能回来 literally it means can come back. The subject, he, has been omitted. 第三个对话，王芳的衣服太漂亮了。是啊，她买了不少衣服。你买什么了？我没买，这些都是王芳的东西。衣服 its noun means cloth. 漂亮 it's an adjective means beautiful. It's a particle. It doesn't have a meaning itself. It only expresses a mode. I'll explain this character later in the video. 少 it's an adjective means little or few. 不少 it's also an adjective means many or quite a few. 这些 it's a pronoun means these. 都 it's an adverb means both or all. The first sentence, 王芳的衣服太漂亮了. It's a subject predict sentence. In the second sentence, 买了 indicates she bought. 你买什么了? Literally, it means you bought what? The answer, 我没买. 没 means no or not. 我没买. Literally, it means I didn't buy. In English, we say I didn't buy anything or I bought nothing. Now we'll learn the particle le, which is used to indicate occurrence or completion. 请跟我读。我去商店了。他去学开车了。你买什么了？ The character le is one of the most common used words in Chinese, and it can be used in several ways. In this lesson, we are learning how do we express things happened in the past with le. In English, the verb tense can tell you how an action relates to time. But Chinese has no verb conjugations. It relies on aspectual particles to express how an action or state relates to the flow of time. This use of aspectual particles is perhaps the single most significant differences between Chinese and Indo-European languages. When the aspectual particle le appears at the end of a sentence, it modifies what it stated in the whole sentence. It denotes both a completed action and a change of state. If there is no the character le in these sentences, the first one would mean I go to the store. The second one would mean he goes to a driving course. The third one would mean what do you buy? And with the sentences changed into things that happened in the past. Another point I would like to notice is that all these sentences can be translated into the past tense or the present perfect tense in English. It depends on the context in which they are used. Now we'll be learning the second use of the. 请跟我读这些句子。他买了一点儿苹果。我买了不少衣服。你看见了几个人？ As I have already explained many times, that in English, the verb tense can tell you how an action relates to time, but the Chinese verbs has no inflection, which means no form change such as go, went, and gone. Chinese verbs rely on aspectual particles to show the state of actions. When the aspectual particle le is positioned between the verb and the object, or between the verb and its completion, we call it after verb le, like in these sentences. Le denotes the occurrence or the completion of an action, that is, something has happened or is done. For the sake of convenience, we may simply say it signifies a completed action. This is the second use of le in Chinese. Now we will learn the negative form of le. 请跟我读。他没去商店，我没买，我没看见张先生。You may ask, where is the character le? Actually, le has been omitted. Please remember, in the negative sentences, we add may in front of the verb and then omit le. In the negative sentences, the verb is still the same. Okay, that's all about the character le. The noun hòu. 请跟我读这些句子。你几点去工作？8点后。你什么时候回家？5点后。他什么时候能回来？40分钟后。When the noun hòu is located after the time, it indicates a period of time after the present time or the time being mentioned. It can be translated into after, in, or later, depending on the context. Okay, pretty easy, right? The modal particle 啊，请跟我读这几个对话。今天我们在家吃饭吧。好啊。他的衣服真好看啊。是啊。你是王小姐吗？是啊。When the modal particle 啊 is used at the end of a declarative sentence, it is pronounced in neutral tone, and it doesn't have a concrete meaning. It is used to set the mood. Usually, it makes the speaker sound nicer and more friendly. In all these sentences, you can also don't say ah, and they mean the same thing, but it's not that nice and friendly. Let me read the sentences with ah and without ah for you so you can tell the difference. The first conversation. 今天我们在家吃饭吧。好 or 好啊。The second conversation. 他的衣服真好看。是 or 是啊。The third conversation. 你是王小姐吗？是 or 是啊。I believe you can easily tell the difference. The mode is definitely different. Now, we'll learn the adverb 都。请跟我读这些句子。我们都是中国人。 他们都喜欢喝茶。我和你都喜欢看电影。The adverb dōu means both or all. The location of dōu is different compared with the English word both or all. Like in the first sentence, in English we say we are all Chinese. In Chinese, we put all after the subject and before the verb. There is also another difference between the character dōu and the English word both. In English, if there are two persons or two things, like in the third sentence, we say both instead of all. In Chinese, if the number of persons or things is more than one, we can use the character dōu. 阅读练习，请跟我读这些句子。昨天上午他去哪儿了？他买什么了？张先生什么时候回来？李老师买了什么？李老师的朋友买了什么？他什么时候吃晚饭？妈妈去商店买了水果。她下午去学开车了。桌子上的书和花都是张先生的东西。丽丽买了不少衣服。Okay, that's all for this lesson. 谢谢，下节课再见。If you like my video, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.